You didn't get that. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2016 Seekonk Speedway WPRO Wall of Fame inductions. I want to welcome you all here tonight. We induct two very special people onto the Wall of Fame here tonight. Leo Cleary and Dave Humphrey. Tonight will be inducted as voted on by the fans who are online voting. We'll induct our first inductee, Leo Cleary, first. Leo, unfortunately, could not be with us here this evening. He had a family emergency down in Florida, but I do have a special guest to help me induct him, and another special guest to accept his award. It was back in the 50s when Leo started racing here at Seekonk and throughout southern New England, racing in places like Norwood Arena and everywhere else he could compete. 1957, he picked up his first victory here at Seekonk in the modified division, or back then known as the Class A, and he continued his winning ways until he retired in the late 80s. Through that time, he drove for some of the top car owners, including the late Joe Brady, Dave Lind, Lenny Bowler, but some of the most success he had was behind Rolly Lindblad's number 48. Whether it was behind the wheel of his modified, his Bush North car, or his Pro Stock, wherever they went, they found success. Now I can tell you all about his stats, his wins, his 4 championships, but to help me induct him is someone who was close to him, who competed against him here and throughout New England, fellow Wall of Fame member George Summers. George?
Leo Cleary, one of my dear buddies. I started racing like in 1952, and Leo was winning races. I finished in 1983, 31 years later, and Leo was still racing. So Leo Cleary was one of the toughest competitors that any speedway has ever had on it. And him and I go back a long ways, and now we even play golf together down in Florida. But a lot of people used to call me and say, I had the name of gentleman George. And one of Leo's favorite things was, yeah, he's no gentleman, but he ain't no priest, I'm going to tell you that. Leo was one great guy, I'll tell you. And I wish he was here tonight. And the man he was one great race car driver, and I enjoyed racing with him. And he ended up turning out, we played golf together, and one of my dear friends. So if anybody Dave Humphrey and him, well deserve what they're going to get here tonight. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming onto the Seekonk Speedway WPRO Wall of Fame the 2016 inductee, 4-time champion, Leo Cleary. Accepting Leo's award tonight is his longtime car owner and close friend, Rolly Lindblad.
It's a great honor to accept this for Leo. We've been friends for 50 years. And Leo right now is down at his daughter's bedside. She's been stricken with cancer. He wishes he could be here. He drove for me for 10, almost 11 years. And all our team always used to say, we're all spoiled because we've had Leo Cleary driving. He got in a car, drove the wheels off it, as they say. And his famous saying was, grease up the Nerf bars and warm up the records. We're going to the front. So it's a privilege for me to accept this, and thank you very much. Thank everybody that had to do with this.
For our second inductee, for those of you who have been around Seekonk Speedway for a while and you remember Wally Saliba up on the microphone, the voice of the Speedway, he used to call this driver his favorite brother-in-law. Well, when Seekonk was in its infancy, short track racing was new to New England. The guys coming home from World War II were finding something new in their backyards. And when we opened in 1946, this Purple Heart recipient was sitting in the stands, watching the action going on. Said to himself, I gotta get me one of those. But the problem was he wasn't old enough. You had to be 21 back in 1946 to compete, so it took him a few years to get behind the wheel. And when he was 21, he started winning races in the jalopies. In October '49, Dave picked up his first career win here at Seekonk, his first of 37 over his career. In 1952, he picked up his first career championship. Followed that up in '53, and in '59 clinched his third championship here at Seekonk. But he wasn't done winning. He would continue to win here at Seekonk and throughout New England, not only in the jalopies and the modifieds, but he made a career out of open cockpit racing. He started driving in the NEMA midgets, won 7 championships and countless races. And over the course of his career, he found himself sitting in the National Midget Hall of Fame, the NEMA Hall of Fame, and the New England Antique Racers Hall of Fame. In 1986, 20 years after his 36th win, he came back here to Seekonk and won his final race here in October. His records and accomplishments can be found everywhere you look for racing, and tonight we get to add one more to the list. Join me in welcoming onto the Seekonk Speedway WPRO Wall of Fame, Dave Humphrey.
I'm not much of a talker. When I got out of the Army, that thing was built on the Seekonk Speedway. And that was the first race I ever seen. Guys like Bill Chandler, Oscar Williams, all those guys. And I said, boy, that's what I want to do. So I couldn't get a ride to midget, so I started out with the stock cars. And I won my first race in the stock car. And then I went to the sprint cars, and then the midgets. I ran about everything. Well, when my first race, when I come to watch the first race, I hooked up with Ted Tappan. I watched him drive, and how he went in and out of traffic, and how he's so smooth, and how I want to be just like him. And when I get when I Midget Hall of Fame, who will to win with me, Ted Tappan. That was a real thrill for me. I've had so much fun, and Seekonk Speedway is my home track. I just want to thank you for this honor.